And good afternoon and welcome to this live stream coverage of the BUCS Long Course Swimming Championships 2019, live from Ponsford International Sports Centre in Sheffield. Day one, session one action to bring you on this Friday afternoon, almost evening, ahead of an entire weekend packed full of pool action. Events coming up this evening. We were going to start with the mixed 4x100 metre medley heats, the final of which will be a little bit later in the evening. We're then going to have the women's and the men's 800 metre freestyles, heat declared winners of the final heats in those events will be winning gold, silver and bronze. Then we've got some relays, so 4x100 metre relays in the women's and men's. Then the women's and the men's 1500 metre freestyles, again heat declared winners ahead of our mixed final of the 4x100 metre medley, a B final and an A final to end the evening. Now, if you're listening in or watching in and you're going to be with us over this Saturday and Sunday, there's plenty to come up. Sessions 2, 3, 4 and 5 over the Saturday and the Sunday. Now, getting back to this evening, though, I'm going to bring you our partners for this evening. Cookery and Camp America, supporting the BUCS Nationals long course swimming. Cookery are present, selling their bespoke long course merchandise. So if you're here over the weekend, make sure to get along. And also Camp America will be attending to share with you the opportunities to spend the summer and swimming teaching as a lifeguard. A little video of that coming up for you shortly. Remember to get in touch or get involved. You can use the hashtag BUCSNationals, and we'll be trying to read out as many as we can coming in via Twitter. And of course, something to mention is the 100th year of British University Sport this year for BUCS. So a very important year indeed. Again, the partners, Cookery, Outgoing, Camp America and Ashaway. So again, we're going to be getting underway at around about 6 p.m, there or thereabouts, maybe a minute either side or so. First event will be, of course, that 4x100 metre medley heats, 3 of which we'll get to enjoy. So a little bit there about Camp America. Again, if you're here over the weekend, they do have a stand just as you enter poolside. Go and have a chat. There's also a competition to win a free Camp America experience and a free trek around the US as well. Very much worth getting involved. Again, you can get involved using the hashtag BUCSNationals at any time this evening or over the entire weekend. It is an entirely packed championships coming up. So again, we're going to be getting underway around about 6 p.m. and that will be the mixed 4x100 metre medley heats. So everybody just about in position, ready for heat number one of event number one here on session one of these BUCS Nationals Swimming Long Course Championships. Backstroke leg to begin. And of course you can choose either male or female to begin. And from lane 0 we have Manchester, Durham, Glasgow, Birmingham, Edinburgh, West of Scotland, Southampton, Cardiff Metropolitan and Kent. And nobody in lane 9. And the 2019 Championships is underway. Fantastic start from lane number 4, Edinburgh. Fastest entry time coming in is a 3:52.54 from the University of Edinburgh. Their closest competitors, West of Scotland, 4:04. So a north of the border derby in lanes 4 and 5 here in heat number 1. There will be 3 heats, and then we'll enjoy the finals. B and A finals later at the end of this opening session. So we'll be the fastest on paper. Edinburgh, the leaders in the very early stages, will take the lead into the second leg. And you really can choose any order you wish. You can go man, man, girl, girl, or boy, girl, doesn't matter. As long as it's backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly and free. Quite a significant difference on the entry times between all 9 entrants. Again, Edinburgh 3:52, and the opposite in Manchester with a 4:55. And Edinburgh just extending that lead slightly, just over 1 second through the first 150 metres. In fact, it's Birmingham that's had an incredible second leg there. And in fact, they lead at the halfway stage. Ahead of Edinburgh and West of Scotland into the butterfly third leg. And Edinburgh overhauling that early lead, now lead by 0.7 of a second. And they are going to lead West of Scotland into the final changeover. And you can expect to see both of these north of the border Scottish teams in the final, I imagine, later on this evening. All, of course, to be confirmed. Plenty of fast times in heats 2 and 3. So into the final 50, the lead was 0.7 of a second, now 3.7 of a second. Birmingham still maintaining that third position after maybe a surprise lead at the halfway stage. So Edinburgh came in with a 3:52. And the winning time in heat number 1, 4:05, so well outside their entry time. West of Scotland touching second, 4:09.66. And Birmingham 4:17, so we'll wait and see who can make the final. I imagine you will see Edinburgh and the West of Scotland a little bit later on, but we'll move on to heat number 2. Here we go with heat number 2 from lane 0. We've got Portsmouth, Liverpool, Leeds, Nottingham, Stirling, Bath, Sheffield, Cambridge and London. Fastest entry time again, of course, coming from lane number 4. This time Stirling in a 3:51.1. 1.3 seconds quicker than Edinburgh's entry time from heat 1. And the time at the moment to beat in heat 2 is a 4:05 set by Edinburgh in heat number 1. So just the one female in heat number 2 going off on the first leg. And that is Cambridge leading at the 50-metre mark. Stirling, but a very, very minor lead indeed. In fact, pretty much neck and neck with Bath. And Bath's entry time, in fact, 10 full seconds behind the entry time of Stirling. So you'd expect those to be up the front, but you would indeed expect to see Stirling come home for the win in heat number 2. Currently Bath almost 2 body lengths lead already early in this second leg. They have of course gone out with their 2 male counterparts to begin with. On the back and breaststrokes, so that lead has now grown to just a smidge over 4 seconds. Over Nottingham, Sheffield, Stirling, everybody within that 4-second bracket. I mean, if you look at the pool, you're looking at lanes 6, 5 and 4 incredibly tight. But that lead growing and growing for Bath. And that 4-second lead is going to have grown considerably. In fact, 7.3 seconds just about. So plenty of work to do. But for the time being, that is clear water. And with 1:50 to go, 2 seconds shaved off that early lead from the halfway mark. A powerful, powerful butterfly coming through in lane number 4 for Sterling. And in fact, with 100 to go, they could even overtake here. Manchester just struggling a little in lane number 8. In fact, London in lane number 8, forgive me. And now we are on to the final leg for Stirling and Bath. So Stirling had a 7-second lead, then it was down to a 4-second lead. And it's incredibly going to be tight for the final time for they turn for home, and Sterling with a 0.76 second. And this is going to come right down to the final 25 metres. They could even lap London in these closing stages. Again, entry times, Sterling 3:51, Bath 4:01. So you wouldn't expect them to be this close. This is absolutely neck and neck. You just have to keep your eye on the scoreboards for this one. And it just goes to Bath in the final stages, Sterling leading throughout. But they've taken it by 0.8 of a second. Nottingham didn't see much of the remaining of the pool in there, but Nottingham have come home third in a 4:14. Which means Edinburgh's time of 4:05 in Heat 1 still the time to beat. And we'll have to wait and see if Bath and Sterling have done enough to get into this evening's final. And time for the final heat in event number 1, heat number 3. And a full complement of 10 teams in the pool for this one. Keele University, York, Nottingham Trent, Oxford, Loughborough, Manchester, Leeds Beckett, Bournemouth, East Anglia and Northampton. So Loughborough the favourites, a 3:50 dead entry time, fastest of every heat. Closest to the Manchester Met, a 3:57. But in fact, fastest time so far in the heat's just a 4:05 from heat number 1 Edinburgh. And Stirling and Bath sharing 4:08 in heat number 2. As you can imagine, and as you can see, early lead for Loughborough. Oxford Uni and Manchester Met with their closest challengers, but some way off over the first 100. 4.5 seconds in fact. Again, really ranging times on the entries. Again, 3:50 for Loughborough, right out to a 5:05 for Northampton in lane 9. So we had 4-second lead through 100. It's down to 2.22 through 150. And through 200, Oxford Uni, 2:05. Loughborough now 2 seconds to a deficit. Manchester are just a further second off, so it's really those three that are going to be looking at the moment to fill those final spaces. At the moment it looks like it's going to be Edinburgh, West of Scotland, Stirling and Bath. Or Bath. Anything inside 4:08 going to guarantee yourself a time in the final. Again, there will be A and B finals. If you are watching on YouTube on that live stream, give us some messages. We'll try and read out as many as possible. Adam Hawley, come on Birmingham. That's obviously from the previous heat. Daniel, go Oxford. And Copy and Paste Productions, go Loughborough. Or in fact, Loughborough Uni. And it is Loughborough that lead into the final leg. A couple of body lengths, a few seconds, and then it's extremely tight between Oxford and Manchester. Again, they're just chasing the clock. Can't win medals in the heats, of course. But you do give yourself that opportunity a little bit later on. So the lead now is 2.61 over Manchester. And then out to just shy of 6 for Oxford Uni. So should be looking like it's going to be the fastest time of the heats thus far. Again, the 4:05 from Edinburgh. And it will be indeed just outside the 4-minute mark. To 4:01.49. So again, over 10 seconds outside the entry time on paper. Manchester met at 4:05. They're going to be in the final as well. As will Oxford with a 4:13. We'll have to wait and see for the official confirmation. Looks like definitely Manchester and Loughborough. Edinburgh, West of Scotland will be in the final, as will Stirling and Bath. But we do, of course, have the B final as well. So that's the first event of session 1, day 1 here at the BUCS 2019 Long Course Championships, all done and dusted. We're going to shortly move on to the 800 metre freestyle events. The women's followed by the men's. There's going to be 2 heats in the women's and then just the 1 heat in the men's. And in that heat number 2 for the women, it will be a timed final or a heat declared winner second heat. The men, just 1 heat for them, so that will be technically a final for the men. Very kind words from Copy and Paste Productions. Best guy ever. We've only just met. So here we go, heat number 1, and just 3 in the pool. That is Hannah Blake of Cardiff, Sarah Collin of Bath, and Sarah Chapman Oxford. Fairly similar entry times over 800 metres, a 10 minutes dead, 0.75 for Collin, a 10.09 Chapman and a 10.21 Blake. And as we've seen so far, the entry times don't really mean that much, so don't necessarily think that Collins is going to win this one for Bath. And pretty much a dead heat through the first 100 metres. 110, 110, 111, just 0.6 separating all 3 girls in the pool. Maybe just dragging each other along in these opening stages before somebody says, bye-bye. And if you are commentating as well on the YouTube chat section, do forgive me. I'm about 30 seconds ahead, so anything you do say, it might not be relevant to actually what's happening in the pool. But I will try my best. And copy and paste, just to answer your question, Portsmouth are competing again in both the men's and the women's freestyle team relay. So we've had the mix, they will be in the individuals as well, the men's and the women's. The men will be in heat number 4, and the women will be in heat number 5. Women's first, then men's, but before that, 2 sets of 800 metres. And we do have a breakaway in the pool. And fastest woman on paper, Sarah Collin. Not with a comfortable advantage at this stage, but most certainly meaningful. 7.93 seconds. .300 down, 5 to go. Plenty of time for Blake and Chapman to turn this one around. And now at the halfway stage, 4:55. Again, entry time 10 dead, so she'll have to do almost the same again if she wants to match that. Her lead was 7 seconds 100 metres ago. I'm not sure what that's been extended to. Let's have a look. It is actually 14 seconds, is that now? It is indeed a full 14 seconds, so doubled the advantage through the fourth 100 metres. And that now is, you'd say, even at the just over the halfway stage, starting to become insurmountable. Showtime online coming from Luigi Dotman for Harriet Smith, swimming for Queen Mary London. You're just about 20 minutes early with that one, Luigi. Come back to me a bit later, we'll say it again. Sarah Collins now 14 seconds the lead at 500 metres. Where are we now? It's extended again. And it's fact all the way out to 20 seconds the lead now over Blake. By the end of this heat, she could have a full length advantage. And the lead of Collins now out to 27 seconds. It's growing and growing. She's certainly not tiring and tiring. She's just extending and extending that lead in the pool. Again, entry time 10 minutes. And heat number 2, which will be the final. So she won't be getting into a final with this performance. But it's certainly been dominating. In fact, the entry times, just to put this into perspective, the entry times for heat 2 and the final, an 8:29 from Holly Hibbert. That's the type of time she's going to be competing with. So just 100 to go now, for Collins at least, as she crosses over them in the middle of the pool. And just looking online, Emilio, if you go onto the BUCS website or just Google BUCS Swimming 2019, you will be able to find a schedule for the entire 3 days. And how much difference does it make swimming long course versus short course? Well, it's a tiny bit quicker on the short course, simply for the fact that, let's take 100 metres for example. You do have the advantage of kicking off at the end of each leg, which is a little bit quicker than just continually swimming through. For example, let's take the 100 metres world record for Adam Peaty, 57.15, I believe, or 57.13. The short course, that's 4 lengths of 25 metres, is actually 55 seconds, so a couple of seconds quicker over 100 metres. And in fact, Luigi Dotman, as I've been explaining that, has answered it for me. And back into the pool, Sarah Collins takes the win, 9.56, so she comes under 10 minutes, came in with a 10-minute dead, so she's broken that by 4 seconds, so great effort. And then coming in behind her will be, first of all, Hannah Blake, closest behind. Just going to wait for a time confirmation on the scoreboard in the arena. Nothing coming through. And Sarah Chapman takes third. So here we go then with heat number 2 and also the final. Gold medal and silver and bronze up for grabs here. And from the bottom we have Caitlin Paulson, Sunderland, Chantal Smith, Stirling, Molly Wright, Nottingham, Trent, Amber Keegan, Sheffield, Holly Hibbett, Borough Swimming, Izzy Griffiths, Birmingham, Emily Clark, Loughborough, Daisy Hill, East Anglia, Lydia Britton, University College London, and Lois Ross, Strathclyde. So here we are, early stages of the heat number 2 and the timed final of the 800 metres for the women. Early leader in lane number 6, Emily Clark, Loughborough. As you can see, incredibly tight. Amber Keegan, Sheffield. In fact, Holly Hibbett not able to join us in lane number 4, so a bit of clear water in the centre. Maybe a slight advantage there for Keegan and Griffiths. And thank you, Emilio, also confirming my theory of more time pushing off the wall and a little bit faster. No such luck on the long course, of course. And Emily Clark, lane number 6, Loughborough. Loughborough, of course, winning the long course championship points in 2018 and in 17, in fact. But they were thwarted by Sterling in the short course in 2018 after taking a double in 2017. So Loughborough looking to regain the double this year. The short course a little bit later in 2019, of course. Closest challenge now coming from Lydia Britton, University College London, lane number 8. But Clark still out in front. Jack McCabe, a little shout out there for Sheffield. Plenty of Sheffield athletes in the pool throughout the evening. And as we stand at the moment, Amber Keegan in lane number 3. She came in with an 8:47.9, Keegan. Fastest in the pool on paper. Would have been Holly Hibbert, 8:29, but she doesn't join us. So that goes to Izzy Griffiths of Birmingham, 8:42. Just 5 seconds separating Griffiths and Keegan. Again on paper, doesn't mean too much. You don't know how much effort they put in the entry times, of course. Rion, very kind words. Rion, very kind words. I will be here for all 3 days as well. I'm going to be at the back of the pool, so if you do join us, I will be happily supplied by water, chocolate, and I did have a fantastic pasta as well from the Ponds Forge Cafe a little bit earlier. Also partial to a flapjack. Feel free to bring them to the back of the seating area, opposite lane 0. Anyway, back to the important bit. In the pool, it is still Emily Clark Loughborough, and the lead is neither growing nor diminishing. It's incredibly tight, in fact, between her and Amber Keegan of Sheffield. It is just shy. It's 2.5 seconds. At the previous turn, and it's going to be almost dead on. Same again, is it 2.5? What are we looking at? 1.6 in fact for Keegan, and Britain 2.93, and under 5 seconds separating the top 4. And in 800 metres, 5 seconds is not a lot at all. Ergun, is Adam Peaty competing tomorrow? Friendly enough, I bumped into Adam Peaty about half an hour ago as I was making my way to the timing pool. I recognised him, of course, by the face, but also the giant lion tattoo on his left shoulder. Almost jumped out and bit me as I walked past. I can't confirm when he's going to be competing. I can only hazard a guess. I doubt it's in the 1500 metres. There is, of course, a men's 400 metre freestyle team relay. That's event number 5. And I've got to think he might be on the breaststroke leg. He's quite good at breaststroke, isn't he? And in fact, Kate Harley, yes. Yes, he is. Not just one yes, 2 yeses from Kate. So we're going to take that as gospel from you, Kate. Emily Clark in 6, still just leading Amber Keegan, and again not a lot to separate them. It was 2.5 seconds, then it was 1.6. What's it going to be now? as they enter the final 200 metres. It's back up a little, 2.31. And on the outward legs, Clark does breathe to her right-hand side at the same time as Keegan breathes to her left, so they are face and face. Kate Harley, we took that message as gospel and you've retracted it. Come on. And as we approach the final 100, it is as you were 300, 400, 500 metres ago. Whatever you like, nothing's changed. Because it's still Clark leading Keegan, leading Griffiths. And remember, these are medals on the line, so at the moment it would be gold for Clark, silver for Keegan, and bronze for Griffiths. Or has Keegan left anything for the final 75? But either way, the first medals of these championships are going to be going out. Presented later, but won over the next 30 seconds or so. And it's a 2.35 lead. Griffiths now just a little bit off the mark, but almost 3 seconds ahead of the fourth place competitor. Entry time from Clark, it was an 8:48, so she's going to be outside that, but it doesn't matter. The time is completely irrelevant because she is going to take gold in lane number 6. Emily Clark Loughborough will take the gold. Silver will go to Keegan. And you can ignore the times on the screen. It is most definitely gold for Emily Clark. A little bit confusing on the time list. I think there was a missed timing chip somewhere at one end of the pool, so apologies, but it's gold for Clark. Keegan came through for silver, and Izzy Griffiths holding on for a bronze. The first medals of the 2019 championships here at Ponds Forge have been won. So thank you, Ben, for confirming Kate is of a woman of authority in BUCS, so her word is gospel. AH, are you saying rugby is better than swimming, or swimming is better than rugby, or are you saying rugby is equal to swimming and discus combined? Not entirely sure. Rion, I thought we were becoming friends. I'm going to have to assess that situation. And we move on to our next event. Again, it's the 800s, and it's the men's this time. There's only one heat, so this is effectively a final gold, silver and bronze up for grabs. From lane 0, Samuel Crabtree, Sheffield, Liam Snook, Birmingham, Audi Hasuna, Edinburgh, Will Foster, Loughborough, Tim Shuttleworth, Loughborough, Bath teammates Tom Derbyshire and Matthew Wright in 5 and 6 in 7, Bailey Haresine, Manchester, Joe Dobb of BUCS in lane 8, and Tom Smith of Sheffield Hallam in 9. And the entry times, Tim Shuttleworth, Loughborough, 7:50.2 on the entry, 8 seconds quicker even than Tom Derbyshire of Bath. He was a 7:58, and they're the only two guys under 8 minutes. Next closest, an 8:10 Loughborough teammate of Shuttleworth is Will Foster. So 2 Loughborough teammates, 2 Bath teammates taking the 4 central lanes. Will they be working together in the early stages? We're going to find out over the next 7.5 minutes. And as anticipated, Bath teammates Derbyshire and Wright swing neck by neck through the first 125 at least. And then your Loughborough teammates Will Foster, Tim Shuttleworth in 3 and 4. Also pretty tight, but to their left and right. By no means in a comfortable 3rd and 4th, but in a comfortable 1st. It's Tom Derbyshire of Bath, 129, so under 130 for the first 150. His entry time again, 7:58. So the lead of Tom Derbyshire Bath is going to be near 5 or 6 seconds over his teammate Matthew Wright. Is 6.08. Then, as we anticipated in lanes 3 and 4, Loughborough's Foster and Shuttleworth. Next closest looking to lane number 1, Liam Snook, of Birmingham. And out in lane number 7, Bailey Harsine, Manchester. But at the moment, everybody chasing Tom Derbyshire. So halfway stage, 6.08. He's put another second on his teammate, now 7.8. And then 10 seconds back to Foster and Shuttleworth. And this is turning into almost Loughborough versus Bath. Snook of Birmingham and Harsine of Manchester, the other guys involved. But will this stretch as we go through the second half of this 800 metres? Next events coming up after the 800 metres will be the 400 metre freestyle team relays. The women to begin with 5 heats. And then 5 heats for the men also before these finals of the mixed relays a little bit later on to finish day 1 and session 1 here in Sheffield. So the lead now out to 8.42, so he's gaining about a second per length. Is Derbyshire, and again just over his teammate Matthew Wright, currently hanging on to silver medal. And the Loughborough teammates Foster and Shuttleworth could be fighting it out at this stage, it looks like. Fighting for a bronze. All medals, of course, equate to points over the entire championship. And I think tomorrow and Sunday we'll have more of an in-depth update. This early stage, anything to play for. Of course, all points important. And as we approach the final quarter, final 200 metres, Derbyshire in a 6:11. It'd grown to about 8 seconds at one stage. Might be a little bit less than that now. It's 9.62 in fact. My eyes deceiveth me. So again, gained another second on that last 50 metres. At this stage, he's going to win by 13 seconds, I calculate. So Derbyshire in the blue cap of Bath, 100 metres to go. It's going to be a procession almost to the first men's gold medal that's going to be given out at these championships. In the lead now, 10.53, so another half a second gained. And he can just enjoy these final 75 metres, as can his teammate enjoy pretty much the final 75 metres for himself. That's Matthew Wright, because he has comfortably wrapped up the silver, unless something disastrous happens over this final length, as Derbyshire turns for home for the final time. And he's in fact lapped Samuel Crabtree in lane 0. And 10.6 seconds ahead of his teammate. And in fact, on paper, he is 17 seconds quicker coming in. So Matthew Wright closing down on Derbyshire a little over the entry times. But it's going to be a gold medal for Bath, a gold medal for Tom Derbyshire in the men's 800 metres. Congratulations to Tom. And it's going to be a gold, silver for Team Bath. Fantastic medals, fantastic points for them early on day number 1. And the bronze, the fight between Loughborough teammates Will Foster and Tom Shuttleworth, will go the way of Shuttleworth. And a fairly big margin, almost 20 seconds separating the gold and the bronze medal. But again, time doesn't matter. You're just getting that metal arranging out. Derbyshire gold, Wright silver, and Shuttleworth the bronze. And looks like Kate's gone away and done some research just to confirm her reputation was on the line. So IG, I'm guessing that's Instagram, Kate? Attendance tomorrow confirmed. So just doing some warming up in the pool earlier when I saw him. And we'll look forward to seeing Adam tomorrow. 10 world records, Rio Gold, 5 World Championships, 12 European Championships and 3 Commonwealths. My goodness, if he put some effort in, he could have really achieved something, that young lad. Next event coming up is the women's 400 metre freestyle team relay. So the 4x1. And there will be 5 heats in this event. final being tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow evening in fact. So 5 heats this afternoon or this evening, and the final tomorrow evening. Heat number 1, Northampton, London and Kent. So entry times on paper, London lane 4, 4:40. 3 seconds behind London are Kent at 4:43, and then a bit of a half a minute out to 5:15 for Northampton in lane 3. So expect to see London and Kent fighting out for it in heat number 1. Of course, these are just heats, so 5 heats. Doesn't really matter what heat you're in, you can still pull something out and get to the final tomorrow evening. Of course, we do expect it to more come from heats 4 and 5 as the entry times get quicker and quicker. Again, some perspective. London 4:40 in heat 1 entry time. Heat number 5, entry time from Edinburgh, 3 minutes 40. 3 minutes 40, a full minute quicker. Emilio, I wish I knew. I've got my laptop in front of me. I'm trying to do some research. I will find out. I'm sure you're going to join us tomorrow and Sunday. We're here. I'm going to be here all day poolside, providing the commentary. I will find out the point situation. I've Googled it. I've looked on the BUCS website. Couldn't locate it yet, but leave it with me. So halfway stages, and the lead is Kent's. So 3 seconds slower on the entry were Kent, but leading London by a fair few seconds in fact. Maybe 5 or 6 metres. In fact, ignore me, London, lane 4 are actually in 3rd place in this heat by quite some margin. Not sure entirely what's happened there. So Kent leading Northampton, in fact. Just over 6 seconds. So I'm not sure if London lost a teammate between the heats and these, the entry times in these heats. It looks that way. And Kent will hand over their final leg with a lead of 7 or 8 seconds over Northampton. And London, unfortunately, 4:40 on the entry does not look particularly achievable. Daniel, you're asking me questions like I'm a swimming expert. Give me a few minutes to Google, I'll find out. I would expect you'd put your fastest person last, but that's me guessing, I'll be perfectly honest. It's a lot more exciting if you put your fastest person last, chasing them down rather than being chased down. Oh, there we go, Rion, come and sit with me in the commentary box and we'll do this together. Quickest goes first and last. That does make sense. an early lead and an exciting finish. And last 25 metres in heat number 1 here. Not as exciting, but Northampton just nibbling away at Kent's lead into the final 10. You know what? It's going to be with Kent, of course, isn't it? Yeah, so Kent win heat number 1. The time is 4:57. Their entry time was a 4:43. So no records broken in the pool. And London, fastest on paper. Not entirely sure what happened. And we move on to heat number 2 from this near side. Queen Mary London, Bangor, Coventry, Exeter, Lancaster, Liverpool, Keele, Southampton and Edge Hill. And there we go, Rion. You said it earlier, a bit too earlier, but now Harriet Smith swimming for Queen Mary. A shout out here in heat number 2, the 400 metre freestyle team relay. Tell me what leg she's on, Rion. And I'll give her a very specific shout out. So I know she's in the pool. So let's have a look at the entry times. 4:24 for Lancaster. 1 second behind is Liverpool, 4:25. And then a 4:27 for Exeter. But it is lane number 1, Bangor Uni. Neck and neck with Lancaster at the end of leg number 1. Also Coventry. And in lane number 8, Edge Hill. Quite common to see the central lanes leading the pool, but it's always quite exciting, I think, when the outer lanes get involved as well. It's all, of course, based on the entry times coming in. They are incredibly tight. I mean, 4:24 from Lancaster in 4, and it's only, I say only, 16 seconds out to Queen Mary in lane 0. And as we saw in the previous heat, these entry times don't mean a great deal often. London almost a minute behind on their entry time in heat number 1. And Edge Hill Uni out in lane 8. It's this. In lane 4, Lancaster. This time it's those two that are neck and neck. Bangor just being dropped down to 3rd position as we enter the 3rd leg. Again, there's going to be 5 heats in this event, so unlikely that the winners of these maybe first 3 heats are going to get through to that final. But you never know. Again, in the heats, who did you put in your team? The final again tomorrow evening. So we've got 5 heats in the women's, then we will have 5 heats in the men's. Then after that we move on to the really long ones, the 1500 metre freestyle. And of course, with that length of race, they just will be timed finals, of course. So it is Edge Hill who lead into the final leg. Harriet Smith In the pool, 4th for Queen Mary. And away she goes down in lane number 0, but we look over to the far side in lane number 8. Again, Edge Hill, no lane number 9. It was meant to be. Oh, there was no lane number 9, sorry. So a little bit of clear water to one side at least, and in fact they've got clear water to both sides at Edge Hill. Because in lane 7, Southampton, they've left them for dead. Lane number 4, Lancaster Uni, the closest to them. And just outside to their left, lane number 3, Exeter. But they're not going to be able to do anything over the last 25. As Edge Hill, with an entry time of 4:38, are going to absolutely destroy that entry time. Cracking swim from lane number 8, Edge Hill. And Lancaster do out-touch Exeter for 2nd and 3rd. Again, it's not going to be enough to get them into the finals, but nevertheless, a fantastic swim. And we move on to heat number 3 from lane 0, Newcastle, Liverpool, John Moores, Bristol, Hertfordshire, Birmingham, Manchester Met, Cardiff Met, Cardiff Uni, Bournemouth and Cambridge. And now this is where we start seeing the faster entry times in the final 3 heats. So a 3:54 from Birmingham, a 4:03 from Hertfordshire, and a 4:05 from Cardiff Met. And Cardiff rivals Cardiff Uni, just to throw them in the mix as well, a 4:08. So 2 times under 4 minutes. No times yet under 4 minutes in the first 2 heats. But a wonderful swim from the women at Edge Hill. Took almost 25 seconds off the entry time. Jack, you've asked where is Ryan Lochte? I'm not entirely sure. I think I saw him marshalling in the car park earlier. Asked me to turn left and forward me on. May have been him, not entirely sure. To be confirmed. Second leg of heat number 3. And out in front, lane number 4, Birmingham. Just a smidge ahead of Manchester Met. Early leaders, Cardiff Met. Now a good 4 or 5 metres behind. It's just those 2 in the centre lanes, 4 and 5, Birmingham, Manchester. Big city rivals, of course. And it was those 2 teams of women that came in under 4 minutes. A 3:54 Birmingham, to remind you, a 3:56 from Manchester. So no surprise whatsoever to see those 2 teams out in front. And again, into the third leg, absolutely neck and neck. Flight attendant Tom, no, not seriously. I didn't think anybody would take that actually seriously regards Ryan Lochte marshalling in the car park. But hey, maybe I've got a very convincing voice, I don't know. Again, back to the pool, the important bit, lanes 4 and 5, Birmingham, Manchester, still neck and neck. Behind them we're looking at Bristol, and we're looking at Cardiff Met and Cardiff Uni. And into the final leg. Again, it's unlikely. Well, I'm looking down the entry times now, and from this heat at least, it looks like maybe only Birmingham and Manchester will be the ones in the final. Again, if we look down to heat number 5, to put it into some perspective, Edinburgh, a 3:40 entry time. That's 16, 17 seconds quicker than these girls currently leading in the pool by a good 10 metres as well. Rion, if I get splits for you, I will. If you look on the BUCS website, Rion, there's live timing. So have a look at that. I mean, I've got so much in front of me. I can't get another screen in front of me, but they do have all the live timing on the BUCS website. Just if you can't find it, just Google BUCS Swimming 2019, and you'll find a link there. And back to the pool. Birmingham win the race against Manchester by just over a second. And the race for third is going to be won by Bristol in lane number 2. It was a close fight between them and the far side, lane number 7, Cardiff Uni. But good times there. Nobody yet under 4 seconds. Birmingham going closest, 4:00.06. What will heat 4 bring us? Flight attendant Tom, you're covering your back, mate. You're covering your back. I know you meant it sarcastically. Nobody else will believe us, but I believe you. So shortly getting underway with heat number 4 of 5, the penultimate heat in the women's 400 metre freestyle team relay. From lane 0, we're going to see Bedfordshire, York, Leeds, Beckett, Oxford, Loughborough, Bath, Chichester, Leeds, Nottingham, Trent and Manchester. Just a slight delay. Again, you can also get involved not only on YouTube but using the hashtag, which is BUCS Nationals. So the delay is we're just waiting for the official times to be confirmed before we can get underway with heat number 4. During which time, I'll remind you, if you're listening in today but you're going to be here over the weekend, Camp America are going to be attending, or they are attending, to give you opportunities to spend summer as a swimming teacher or a lifeguard. What an opportunity, between California and New York. Also competition on, you can win a free Camp America experience and a free trek around the US. Just speak to them as you arrive. When you enter the pool seating area, you cannot miss them. They're going to be right in front of you. And I think we can now move on to heat number 4. So again, from 0, Bedfordshire, York, Leeds, Beckett, Oxford, Loughborough, Bath, Chichester, Leeds, Nottingham, Trent and Manchester. Fastest entry time, 3:45 from Loughborough, 3:56 from Bath. And they are the only 2 teams to go under 4 minutes. We had 2 teams under 4 minutes in heat number 3, neither managing to do it in their heat, in fact. Can Loughborough or Bath do it in heat number 4? Alex, you can absolutely get a shout-out for Oxford. This is it, a shout-out to Oxford from Alex Thompson. And you've got a friend there in Daniel as well. Let's go Oxford from Daniel. So plenty of support. Oxford's entry time of 4:03. So that is only 3 seconds slower than the winning time in heat number 3. But looking at the paper, it is 18 seconds slower on paper than Loughborough. And they are in the lane just to their left-hand side. And no surprise, Loughborough with an early lead through the first 100 metres. So Loughborough and Bath both under the minute mark for the first 100. And you would expect this to be a fight between those two. But Loughborough already a good couple of metres in head in the first 150. What's the time difference going to be? Crikey, 2.6 already for the first 200. And then incredibly tight. York leads Beckett, leads. All under 5 seconds before the halfway stage. Again, when you've got 225 metres to go still in the pool, anything can happen. And if Rion's right, you put the fastest people first and fourth. So the lead was 2.6, it is now 3.48. Just shy of doubled over that 50-metre stretch. And then beyond the leading two, we look to lanes 1, 2 and 3. That's York, Leeds, Beckett and Oxford. Keep your eye on Leeds in lane 7. So we moved up to 3.6 second lead. The previous 50, now out to 5.4. Loughborough turning the screw on Bath. And the teams that were within 5 seconds now struggling to keep within 8 seconds of our leaders. Kevin, as I mentioned earlier, you may have been listening, may have not been, I'm not a swimming expert as such. Equally, I'm not a squirrel expert either. I've no idea, maybe because they're carrying food in their pouch or they've got a baby in the pouch. Do squirrels have pouches? I've no idea. Google it. Google it, Kevin. So back to the pool, lane 4, Loughborough. And the lead has just extended throughout this entire 400 metres. They're certainly going to be in the final tomorrow evening. It's all about the time. They came in again with a 3:45 from the heat, from the entry time, into the heat. So they're definitely going to be the first team under 4 minutes. Not going to beat their entry time, but they will be comfortably under 4 minutes, maybe just shy 3:50. So a fantastic 3:51 from Loughborough. And lane 5, Bath eventually making it a comfortable second. There was a challenge on initially from York, Leeds and Oxford. And that battle is won by Oxford, 4:06. That could be good enough to get into the final tomorrow evening. We shall wait and see, all to be confirmed of course. But I'm fairly confident you're going to see Loughborough there. And Kevin just confirming my guess was actually correct, which is great. And we're about to move on to heat number 5, final heat. And of course the final heat where you see the fastest swimmers. From lane 0, Portsmouth, Aberdeen, Surrey, Sheffield, Hallam, the home team, Edinburgh, Stirling, East Anglia, Glasgow, Warwick, Durham. 3:40 on the entry time from Edinburgh. 3:54 from Stirling. 3:58 Sheffield, Hallam. That's the tightest first 50 metres we've seen. First 6 teams separated by just over 1.1 seconds. For Edinburgh, lane 4, on paper 14 seconds quicker than their closest rival. It's barely 14 hundredths between them in the pool. So approaching the halfway mark, Edinburgh and Stirling still pretty much neck and neck, maybe an arm length lead just for Edinburgh. Thought it would be more than that at this stage. Lane 7 Glasgow, so it's the 3 Scottish teams in the top 3 positions at the moment. Again, all trying to get into tomorrow evening's final. Anything around about 4:06 and under. He's looking pretty good at the moment. Of course, the top 10 teams over all 5 heats will take part in that final. And to the final 100, lane 4, Edinburgh. Now just starting to make a little bit of a gap over Stirling, but still only just over 2 seconds, 10 seconds back to Glasgow. East Anglia and Surrey tight on their heels. But again, where you finish in the pool is fairly irrelevant. It's all about the time. And again, we're looking for around about maybe under 4:10. Is it going to maybe get you in the top 10 of the final tomorrow? So a quick final 50 needed from a couple of teams here. Looks like Edinburgh and Stirling safely into that final. I'm going to go comfortably under 4 minutes in the process. I think it was a 3:51 earlier from Loughborough. So they've just beaten that Edinburgh. They're the fastest team, so they will occupy lane 4 in tomorrow's final. Loughborough will operate from lane number 5. Stirling also under 4 minutes. Cracking time from Stirling. And East Anglia just a little bit slow on the timing board, but East Anglia just pipping Surrey. Glasgow, who were in 3rd for so long, just being pipped out to 4th. So we'll wait for confirmation of our final tomorrow. But again, I think it was anything under 4:10 was going to get you pretty confidently in there. But keep your eye on the BUCS website. All live timing, of course, on the website. If you can't find it, just Google BUCS Swimming 2019. maybe throw in long course in there as well. And the first link you find at the top of that page is going to take you through to a page with about a dozen tiles or so, and it will give you the running times, the running order, the live timing, event information, etc., all going to be there for you. So we move on to the men. So still with the 400 metre freestyle team relay, but this time it's the boys. In lane 3, Kiel. In 4, Brunel. In 5, Bangor. And in 6, Northampton. Quite a large split on the entry times. A 4:07, the quickest from Brunel. And then we go all the way out to a 4:41 for Northampton. But as we saw with London earlier in the evening, the entry time was almost a minute's difference either way. And again, there's going to be 5 heats in this one, as there was in the women's, and again the final tomorrow evening. So not racing each other in the pool, just racing the clock. I'll tell you what to do, Rion. If you Google BUCS swimming points and click on the first link that comes up, and then after that link, they have a very bright red page. Then on the right-hand side of that page, click on Long Course Championship. So Google BUCS swimming points, click on the top link, then on the right-hand side, go to Long Course Championships. All the information you need there, including the live results. Now I better get back to the pool, because we're over halfway now, and out in the lead, lane number 4, Brunel. It's a fairly comfortable lead as well, over Bangor of Wales. In fact, 7.65 seconds. And into the final leg, I think that 7.65 has most definitely been increased. Brunel over Bangor. Bangor just tiring over those final 25. I know it's over an 11-second lead, because after 11 seconds the timing disappears on my timing board. In fact, it was 14.5 second lead for Brunel. So clear water for the final 50. It's actually going to reach halfway and go past Northampton, going in the opposite direction. But again, swimming for pride in heat number 1. Not going to be quick enough to make tomorrow's final. Again, just some perspective for you. I mean, it's not a bad time from Brunel. In fact, 3:56 entry time was 4:07, so 10 seconds off the entry time. But if I look down to heat number 5 in the entry time, Sterling came in with a 3:20. So a good 40-second difference. And in fact, there's 35 teams that came in under 4 minutes on the entry. So we move on to heat number 2. So heat number 2 from lane 0, Queen Mary Uni, Manchester Met, Durham, Liverpool John Moores, Hertfordshire, Exeter, West of England, Bournemouth, Bristol and Kent. And you might be able to tell by the accent, I'm not sure, West of England. I'm an alumni of West of England, my university that. Sports Business Management, if you asked. Emilio, I told you, tomorrow. I'll find out for you, believe me. Log in tomorrow. I'll be an expert on the BUCS point system, I promise you. So early lead in heat number 2 down in lane number 1. Manchester Met. Fastest entry time, heat number 2, there's 2 3-minute 50s, 100th of a second, separating Hertfordshire ahead of Exeter. Heard a bit of an ooh around me there. I'm not sure if, I was looking down at the paper, not sure if somebody jumped in a little bit early. I'm sure we'll find out. But it's still lane number 1, Manchester, leading the way. Now, in fact, if you look at the entry times which I've got in front of me, there's not a lot separating, at least the central 8 lanes. So 350 from Hertfordshire in lane 4, the quickest. And then if you got out to lanes 1 and 8, which is Manchester and Bristol, they're only in the 356s, so only 6 seconds separating the central 8. And then we're out to the 405s and the 406s for Queen Mary and Kent in 0 and 9. So the closest competitor now to Manchester, Hertfordshire and Bristol, both 8 seconds shy. So final leg. And turned in 3:07 by Manchester. This is going to be a cracking time for Manchester. 3:56 coming in. This is going to be really impressive. Impressive enough to get into tomorrow's final, not entirely sure. They're probably going to have to be somewhere near, getting close to this 3:30-ish. But it's the quickest time by a country mile so far in the heats. 3:36.68. And now getting very tight in the middle on the far side. In fact, lane 8, Bristol. Could nick second from the centre lanes, do they? They do indeed, very tight, just 1100th separating Bristol and Exeter. Don't think they'll be good enough for tomorrow. Manchester Met have to wait and see. 3:36, good time. Emilio, Sports Business Management, studied at the University of West of England, specifically the Hartbury campus. And the reason it was the Hartbury campus, because it's a sporting college. I mean, like, maybe not in the league of Loughborough, but a very good sporting college. So if you like your rugby, your football, they do pentathlon there. I studied golf at college there, but that's going off on a bit of a tangent. So Hartbury campus of University of West of England, Sport Business Management, I can recommend. And now I'm doing commentary, so maybe I don't recommend it, I don't know. Heat number 3. So heat number 3 from lane 0, Liverpool, Oxford, Lancaster, Chichester, Loughborough, Sheffield Hallam, Warwick, Nottingham Trent, Sunderland and York. Fastest entry, very, very quick, a 3:22 from Loughborough. Following on from that, a 3:29 Sheffield, and the slowest is a 3:50 from York. So 10 pretty quick times and an absolutely flying start from Loughborough. 51.38 first leg from Loughborough. Sunderland, Sheffield, Oxford, York, Lancaster and Warwick all under 5 seconds behind. But through just 100 metres, that is a significant lead already from Loughborough. And looking into heats number 4 and 5, the only entry times quicker than Loughborough will come from Edinburgh in heat 4, a 3:21. Then heat 5, Stirling, a 3:20. And the lead of Loughborough maintained through the second 100, second leg. Let's see if that's been extended at all. Roughly the same, 5.03. But a very, very comfortable looking 5.03. Always get the impression with Loughborough they can pull something out of the bag whenever they need it, really. Again, champions last year in the long course. In 2017, long and short course champions. Short course champions last year, Stirling. And it's Stirling who have the fastest entry time in heat number 5 for this event. So the lead extended by almost a second, 0.85 of a second. And if I do miss any of your comments, do forgive me. The Wi-Fi here at Ponds Forge isn't brilliant. So I am entering and exiting the chat connection stages just in time to see Daniel go, come on Oxford, go Matt, big swim. Why was there capitals for come on Oxford and go Matt, but little ones for big swim? And Alex, let's go Oxford. Loose boys ear to win. Boys B-O-I-S, ear, here should have been E-I-E, surely. Emilio, my pleasure. And the win does go to Loughborough, no surprise, 3:25, cracking time, 3:36, that time of Exeter in the previous heat. 3:41, Sheffield, good time, 3:31. So expect to see Loughborough and Sheffield in that final tomorrow evening. The remaining TBC. Here we go then, heat number 4 from lane 0, East Anglia, Southampton, Leeds, Birmingham, Edinburgh, Bath, Portsmouth, Surrey, Coventry and London. Fastest coming in, 3:21, Edinburgh. Second fastest, Bath, 3:27, that's 6 seconds difference. Third fastest, Birmingham, 3:34, 13 seconds separating. So Edinburgh, clear favourites in lane number 4. And they do lead in the early stages. 0.42 ahead of Bath, 0.88 Portsmouth. and a lot closer than heat number 3. There was 5 seconds separating the top 8 in heat number 3 at the 50 metre mark, just 2 seconds here in heat number 4. So already at the halfway stage, lane number 4, still Edinburgh, but a little bit tighter than we maybe would have anticipated. In fact, just 1.79 seconds ahead of Bath in 5. So again, 6.3 seconds separating them on the entry. And behind Edinburgh and Bath, we look to Portsmouth in a little battle with Surrey. Not far geographically either those two. And then lane, we've got Southampton and Leeds. A bit more of a distance between those two. But not a lot in the pool in front of us. And that lead for Edinburgh, just staying around that, maybe up to sort of 3 seconds or so. It's going to be tight. 2.61, just shy of 3. But again, the time they're chasing, it was a 3:26, I believe, from Loughborough in heat number 3. So that's the time to beat to not guarantee yourself a spot in the final, because we've got another heat to come after this one. But it'll definitely get you up there somewhere. So 3 minutes with 50 metres to go, Edinburgh. Again, entry time 3:21. They'll be fairly confident of breaking the 3:30. It might be a little bit tighter than anticipated. Lane number 5, Bath, is coming back at them. So the lead at one point was up to about 2.6 seconds. Nowhere near that now, just an arm length. Gosh, if this race had one more length to go, Bath might have taken it, but it will be Edinburgh. Ignore that on your screen there. It was most definitely Edinburgh that did touch first. So if Bath was a 3:29, let's say, yeah, I was going to say Edinburgh were about a second or so quicker, so 3:28, there it comes. Portsmouth 3:37, that might not be good enough to get into the final. Keep your eye on Edinburgh and Bath. So heat number 5 from lane 0. Leeds Beckett, Anglia Ruskin, Glasgow, Manchester, Stirling, Swansea, Cardiff Met, Newcastle and Cardiff Uni. Rion, do you know what? Funnily enough, that is exactly what I was thinking. I had in my head, sick, that heat. And that makes it official. Heat 5, fastest entry, Stirling 3:20, Swansea 3:24, Manchester 3:32. Again, as the heats go on, it gets quicker, and well, tighter and tighter even, at the early stages at least. A second and a half separating the top 6. Well, over the second 50, my goodness me, Stirling and Swansea. move that out to, well, at least 3 seconds over half the field. In fact, over more than half the field. It's only Swansea and Glasgow within 2.5 seconds. But this is no surprise, we expected them. From the beginning of the event, we always knew it was going to be Stirling from heat number 5, Edinburgh heat number 4, and Loughborough in heat number 3 that were the ones to watch. Just so you know, on the entry times, in case you're not aware, on the entry times, you never put the quickest 3 against each other in heat number 5, for example. You'd always take the fastest 3 and separate them over the final 3 heats. So they're not racing each other in the heats. That only happens in the final. So over halfway stage, lead being extended by Stirling. Ignore those split times on your screen there. It's a lot more than 1.2 seconds from Stirling back to Swansea. More like 8 or 9 already. Then after Swansea, you've got Glasgow. So the Scottish University is doing fantastically well at the early stages of this championship. So all down to the clock now, 2:34 with 100 to go. So it looks like they'll be getting at least under 3:30 for the heat. But they'll desperately want one of those central lanes for the final tomorrow. So they're going to have to get somewhere near 3:26, 3:25, that kind of number to guarantee themselves a centre spot. Give some clean water as long as they're leading. No wash from the side of the pool that you get in the outside lanes. So just keep your eye on the clock now. 3:15. 15 metres to go. Lane 5, Swansea behind. They need to hurry up as well if they want one of those near middle lanes. So it is a 3:25, that is the quickest time we've seen, so they will have lane number 4 in the final, Stirling. Exactly what they wanted. Swansea Uni 3:33, they're going to be in lane sort of maybe between 8 and 2, something like that. Will we see Glasgow and Newcastle in the final? Again, all to be confirmed. Results you can find on the BUCS website. We will of course have the lineup for tomorrow's races with you as soon as we can, whether that's tonight or tomorrow morning. Have to wait and see. But that is the heats all done. 5 out of 5 for the men's 400 metre freestyle team relay. And now we move on to the next women's event. And this is a final, in fact it's a 1 heat event, so it's a final. And this is the women's 1500 metre freestyle. Followed by the men's 1500 metre freestyle. And although I do like to talk, I don't think I can talk for 16 minutes flat. So forgive me if I do get myself a drink, etc. But in heat 1 and the final, lane 1, Ella Corby, Oxford. Daisy Hill of East Anglia in 2. In 3, Grace Kinnell of Cardiff. In 4, Emily Clark, Loughborough. In 5, Nicole Ryan, Oxford Brookes. In 6, Millie Emmons of Surrey. In 7, Katie Taylor, Strathclyde. And in 8, Amy Farthing, Swansea. Fastest on paper, 16:55, Emily Clark of Loughborough. Closest to her, Nicole Ryan, Oxford Brookes, 17:02. And then we have to jump another 22 seconds back to Grace Kinnell of Cardiff. So expect this one to be between Clark and Ryan in lanes 4 and 5. 1500 metres, it's a long way, let's wait and see. So halfway-ish stage update. Lane number 4, Emily Clark Loughborough. Fastest girl on paper, 16:55 entry. Currently leads, but it is marginal, 2.94 seconds over the first 800 or so metres. In fact, Nicole Ryan even. Numbers are the wrong way around here, I can see. So Nicole Ryan in 5, Oxford Brooks. 17:02, so 7 seconds slower on the entry times. Over 1,500 metres, that's nothing, is it really? And then you go out to Grace Kinnell of Cardiff, and you go out to Millie Emmons. 17:24 and 17:39, the nearest competitors. So no surprise at all, we're seeing Emily Clark and Nicole Ryan fighting it out down the centre. And no surprise, really, that it's Kinnell and Emmons to the left and right of those two. But with 700 metres to go, it is Nicole Ryan with a very, very slender lead of 1.7 seconds over Emily Clark. And then Kinnell and Emmons fighting out for a bronze. Remember, gold, silver, bronze medals on the line in this heat. One heat event, it is a final. Gold, silver and bronze up for grabs. Currently, Ryan, Clark and Kinnell. reaching the business stages of this women's 1500 metre freestyle final. And early leader is Nicole Ryan. She had about a 1.5 second advantage on Emily Clark. That's been reversed over the last 400 metres, but it's still incredibly tight between those two. And Kinnell and Emmons in 3 and 6. They still fighting for the bronze as it stands. So lanes 4 and 5 fighting for gold and silver. 3 and 6 fighting for bronze, but still with 200 metres to go now. Clark's lead over Ryan, still 1.5 seconds. Clark of Loughborough, Nicole Ryan of Oxford Brookes. And in that race for third and bronze, Kinnell of Cardiff and Ellie Emmons of Surrey. Been reduced slightly by 0.2 with 1:50 to go. Is it going to take something pretty special from Nicole Ryan for, well, at least either of them to sort of pull away over this final 100 coming up? Or can Loughborough's Clark pull away? The lead now to under a second with 100 to go. So it's reduced. And if you can hear those whistles, that's just the referees down at each end of the pool, or each lane, end of each lane, letting the swimmers know you've got 2 lanes to go. They do put up boards to say you've got 16 to go, 10 to go, right down to 2 to go, just in case they're, a little bit out of it with the effort they're putting in. And Nicole Ryan starts to kick heavily. And Nicole Ryan could turn this one round over the last 50 metres. She's kicking hard. Not a lot left in the legs of Emily Clark. And over the final 10 metres, this is for gold and silver, remember. And Nicole Ryan over these last 30 metres has come through to take a gold medal in a 17:12. So outside the entry time, that's completely irrelevant because it just came down to the time in the pool. And the bronze is going to go to lane 6. Emmons outkicks Kinnell over the last 75 metres. But it's a gold for Nicole Ryan. And that's the first gold of the games to Oxford Brookes. Emily Clark of Loughborough takes the silver. And the bronze, Millie Emmons of Surrey. So a fantastic finish to that race. Always takes a little while to get going. They were neck and neck throughout, really. They were never more than, Clark and Ryan, never more than sort of 2.5 seconds separating each other. And the lead did change back and forth a couple of times, especially over the last 200-300 metres. And it's Nicole Ryan that comes out on top. 1.6 seconds over Emily Clark. Bronze, Millie Emmons. And are shortly going to move on to the men's version of the 1500 metre freestyle. We're going to have 2 heats in this one. Heat number 2, of course, will be that final, or effectively a final. Gold, silver and bronze up for grabs. But first of all, heat number 1 from lane 1, Ross Large of Leeds. Brandon Slayer, Swansea in 2. In 3, Elliot Pickford, Manchester. Lane 4, Alex Crossland Robbins, Stirling. Lane 5, Marcus Johnson, Lancaster. In 6, Ben Tritton of Surrey. Michael McLennan of Nottingham Trent in Southern. And Luke Maunder of Birmingham in 8. And again, I'll just give you an early heads up before we meet again around about halfway through this one. So entry times, quickest coming from Alex Crossland Robbins of Stirling in 4, 16:27. Then you've got 3 athletes on 16:40s. That's Marcus Johnson of Lancaster, Ben Tritton of Surrey, and Elliot Pickford of Manchester Met. So only 13 seconds separating the centre 4 lanes. Let's see what happens over the next 1,500 metres. So as we pass the halfway stage, you can see right now it is Tritton ahead of Crossland Robbins, just a 1.2 shy of seconds separating the two of them. Be neck and neck is a little bit like the women's race previously. We had Clark and Ryan neck and neck for the entire race. We've got similar happening again. In fact, interestingly, lane number 5, Marcus Johnson, equal second fastest on paper. A good 15-20 seconds behind these front two, Tritton and Crossland Robbins. Now down to just 0.6. Still plenty of time to go, but it does look like a two-man race here in heat number 1. Again, 2 heats in this one, if you're just joining us, 2 heats. The second of which will be our time final. So no medals up for grabs in this one, but heat number 2, there will be gold, silver and bronze. Our final 2 events of the evening will be the mixed open 400 metre medley team relays. And that will close this session. But back to the action in the pool at the moment. So we have 500 metres remaining, or 550 for the 2 out in front. But again, still neck and neck. Now entering the final 250 metres. And since we last spoke about 400 metres ago, it was previously Britain about a second and a half ahead of Crossland Robbins. That's been turned on its head and just extended slightly. 2.5 seconds now, Crossland Robbins over Tritton. On paper, it's not a surprise. Crossland Robbins 16:27 entry, Tritton 16:40. That's a full 13 seconds separating the two. But it is, of course, the latter stages where the stamina, the lactic acid takes effect, and all that training. And I mean, it's a lot of training, these 1500 metre swimmers as well. Many, many hours in the pool. And it's over these last 200 metres where it shows. So it looks to me that lead has been extended slightly. Just to look backwards, lane number 3, Elliot Pickford in 3rd place. The times aren't turning up at the moment because it's anything beyond sort of 11-12 seconds won't show on the split time. Tritton now 2.9 seconds behind, but I can confirm it is Elliot Pickford in 3rd place currently. Just ahead of Marcus Johnson, not much separating those two at all. 3 seconds maybe. And as we approach the final 100, well, it's the final 100 for the lads in the middle. The outer lane's a little bit more to come. So what's Crossland's Robbins going to be now? Almost up to 3 seconds. And you'd imagine you can maintain that, maybe even grow it to over 3 to 4. But as we add in the women's final previous to this heat, it's the last 100 metres where somebody puts a kick in. And it was Clark in the women's. And it looks like Crossland Robbins is just going to push away. He's taken half a second out of it over that 50 metres Tritton, but he's got to do 4 times that over the last 50 metres. Entry time of Robbins 16:27, 16:40 for Tritton. So they're both going to be outside those entry times, but again, clock doesn't matter in these heats because it's the next heat, heat number 2, where the gold, silver and bronze are going to come from. But it's a win in heat number 1 for Alex Crossland Robbins. Finally, it's 2.6 at the end. It was pretty neck and neck for the first 1200 metres. In fact, Tritton had a 1.5 second lead through around about 1,000 metres. That was overturned in the final 400, then extended to 2.6 just over that last 75. And the race for 3rd place. It's going to be close in the end for 3rd place, in fact. Doslo go to Elliot Pickford, 17:13, 2 seconds ahead of Brandon Sayers. Pickford's entry time was a 16:40, so again a long way out that entry time. But again, good win, Crossland Robbins. Good fight with Tritton throughout. In the end, 2.6 seconds separating. And we're going to move on to heat number 2 shortly, which is our final. Just a couple of swimmers still to come in heat number 1. There's Ross Large in lane number 1. And over in 8, Luke Maunder. We didn't have a lane number 7 in the end. And always nice to hear plenty of support poolside for the chaps that come in. And again, heat number 2 will be our final. So a gold, a silver and a bronze up for grabs. I'll get onto the entry time shortly. But for now, the entry list from lane 0. Bailey Haresine of Manchester in 0. Jack Bonsell of Cambridge in 1. Max Murphy of Loughborough in 2. William Riley, Bath in 3. Teammate Tom Derbyshire, Bath in 4. Sheffield, Hallam, Sam Budd in 5. Nathan Wells of Loughborough in 6. Edinburgh's Harley Binkcheese in 7. Ashley Hogg of Manchester in 8. And Glasgow's Marshall Illingworth in 9. So a quick look at the entry times. Tom Derbyshire 15.02. Cracking time. That's over a minute quicker than the, well, almost a minute quicker than the winning time in heat number 1. And then from Tom Derbyshire in a 15.02, it then goes 16 seconds later to Sheffield Hallam Sam Budd in 5. And then out to 15.45, Max Murphy of Loughborough in 2. So the Bath teammates, especially Tom Derbyshire, on paper a convincing winner. Again, let's see what happens. We'll pick it up around about the halfway stage. So let's pick things back up fairly deep into this heat number 2 and of course final now. And we do have one clear leader out in front. And as you can see, lane number 4, 500 metres to go for Tom Derbyshire of Bath. Again, he was the fastest man on paper, 15.02 coming in, 16 seconds clear of Sam Budd of Sheffield. William Riley, Tom's teammate from Bath, in a 15.45, the closest to him, but again, that is 43 seconds difference between the Bath teammates. So, no surprise to see Tom out front. And he has a huge advantage, almost. Well, let's have a wait and have a look. So 10.50 with 3.50 to go. Closest to him, Riley, 10.63 behind. So it was Riley, it's actually the Bath teammate Riley that's closest to him. 43 seconds on paper, just 10 separating them in the pool. And Sam Budd of Sheffield in lane 5. Just now turning, so almost just a couple of metres shy of an entire length of the pool separating the fastest 2 men on paper. But it is almost certainly gold, silver for Bath. And in the order of Derbyshire and Riley. And Sam Budd of Sheffield, it is a comfortable third place, I must say. You can almost say the medals are tied up with 2.50 to go, but anything can happen. So Derbyshire's lead 100 metres ago was just outside 10 seconds. And we'll see in a moment if it's been closed whatsoever. In fact, it's 11.13, just nipping off your screen there. So he's grown that by a second over the last 100 metres. And in terms of the pool, that's around about 20 metres or so. So 300 to go for Derbyshire. And again, just outside the 11-second mark. That's when the timing goes off the clock on the screen there. So if it's outside 11 seconds, we don't see it. But on the screen, I can see it is 12.1 seconds is the official time behind for Riley over Derbyshire. And then in lane 5 now, Sheffield's Budd, 12.58. So considerable distances between the two. And it is a full length now between first and third place. And the gap extending more and more between the two Bath teammates. 200 to go now for Derbyshire. He doesn't need to worry about the clock whatsoever. Cracking entry time got him into lane 4 again, a 15.02, just outside the 15-minute mark. And the clock has become irrelevant because the gap is so big. Out to just under 13 seconds now, so another second gained from Derbyshire over Riley. And Sam Budd, I'll try and give you a time where he is. He's in fact actually quite hard to tell because before Budd even touched the wall at the starting end, Derbyshire had already hit the wall at the opposite end, so the timing changes. So it's around about 40 seconds or so the difference between the two. And for the final time, Derbyshire will see the board put in front of him at the starting end and the whistle to indicate this is his final 2 laps or 2 lengths. And he'll cross past his teammate on about the 12-metre mark, which gives him a lead of around about 25 metres, of course. In fact, it's maintained around about 13 seconds or so. So it's going to be a gold, silver for Bath before we move into the final two events of session number one on day one here in Ponds Forge at Sheffield. And it's going to be an extremely comfortable victory for Derbyshire. A procession to the final end of the pool. It's 15:20 currently with about 20 metres to go. So already 20 seconds outside his entry time, but he can monitor the race as it goes on. He doesn't need to chase a particular time. And it's a fantastic goal for Derbyshire. 15:33. 29 seconds outside the entry. His teammate William Riley is going to come home and take the silver. So it's a gold, silver. 15:46. Again, it maintained around about 13 seconds for the last 150, 200 metres. Riley taking silver. So fantastic work for Team Marth. Both men absolutely shattered. Derbyshire just looking up at the scoreboard. I'm sure he wasn't confirming whether he came first or not, maybe just confirming his time. And in lane number 5, Sam Bird of Sheffield. I mean, he was in bronze position for around about 1,200 metres there. It was never in doubt. So again, gold, silver Bath. Bronze goes to Sheffield. And all of these add up to points for the overall BUCS Long Course Championships. Loughborough looking to maintain their title from last year as the final few swimmers complete their 1,500 metres. And if you were around earlier for the heats, the next two events are going to be the mixed finals, the B final, then the A final. The mixed open 4x1 medley team relay. So everybody now finished. Again, congratulations Tom Derbyshire, led from start to finish, grew and grew and grew his lead until it was out to 13 seconds. Comfortable silver for Riley, comfortable bronze for Bird, and nobody else really in the race for the medals past 400, 500 metres. And here we go then, the B final to be preceded by the second coming A final. So B finalists from lane 0, Liverpool. In 1, Glasgow. In 2, East Anglia. In 3, Leeds. In 4, Leeds, Beckett. In 5, Sheffield. In 6, Cardiff Met. In 7, Southampton. In 8, Bournemouth. And in 9, Kiel. So just pride up for grabs, no medals in this one. That'll come in the A final shortly. I'm sure Leeds and Leeds Beckett in 3 and 4. That'll be an interesting race between those two. And of course the home club Sheffield wanting to impress the home support. Again, it doesn't matter what order you put it in, male, female, male, female, male, male, female, female, it doesn't matter. So here we are at the penultimate race of the evening. And we're underway, great start from lane 3, Leeds. Firing out the blocks, my goodness me. As is Sheffield in 5. No entry times for the B final. However, I can tell you the slowest time to get into the A final was a 4:17.4. So everybody in this B final just outside, somewhere behind 4:17. And through the first 75 metres, Sheffield actually the only team under 30 seconds for the first 50. Great support from poolside, and they will take that lead into the second leg. And Sheffield have chosen to go male in the first 2 legs. Leeds hit the board, as do Liverpool. But look at that on the timing board, 5 seconds out to 5th place Leeds Beckett. So that's a significant lead early on. But as we saw in the heats, anything can happen over the last 2 legs. It's all about who you put where. In a standard relay, you'd put the fastest maybe first and last. But if Sheffield chosen to put their fastest to first and second and try and hold on for the win in this B final. Leeds 5.89 behind. Leeds Beckett a further second. So as we hoped for, a fairly good tie between the 2 Leeds universities. So the breaststroke to be followed by the butterfly. Sheffield maintaining that lead. What's it going to be? He's up in the 4-second mark, and it's now 6.6. So another 2 second gained over that last 50 metres. The leading 3 teams, Sheffield, Leeds and Leeds Beckett, all with female athletes on leg number 3. So it could be an extremely exciting 4th leg, 2:40.76. Lead extended by 0.2 of a second, 6.23. And then Leeds 0.2 behind. That was a second, 0.8 taken off that one. So neck and neck between the 2 Leeds universities, but a good 10 metres or so out in front to Sheffield. And what will be the lead handed over for the final leg? A 3:16.53. It was 6.2. It's been cut by a second to 5.3 for Leeds Beckett. Glasgow find themselves in bronze medal position, 3rd position in this B final. And on to the final 4th and a freestyle leg. Can Leeds Beckett chase down Sheffield? The lead has been halved over the 7th 50 metres, down to just 2.17. Glasgow 4.6 behind. Leeds now 6 seconds behind, so 4 seconds slower now. Leeds over Leeds Beckett in 4th position. And look at this with 25 to go. Leeds Beckett have inched away and away and away at this lead, and they now lead by about half an arm's length. And it's going to be a struggle for Sheffield to hold on or come back with this one. And the win in the B final will go to Leeds Beckett. It's a 4:17.43. Valiant effort from Sheffield, 4:18. And then Glasgow down in lane number 1. They come in with a 4:21.99. But a cracking B final. Exciting right down to the last few metres. Let's hope the A final, where the medals will be dished out, can offer up something of the same. And Leeds, in fact, settled for 4th in the end, after battling for 2nd and 3rd with Leeds Beckett throughout the first 300 metres. So a great B final. We're going to move on to the A final shortly. I do have the entry times as well to add a bit more substance to the race as well. They'll wait till they walk out to their podiums. They'll put the backstroke drop downs back on first of all. The side, you can just about see the teams waiting on the far side of the pool out of lane number 9. They'll shortly make their way on with a little bit of music in the background. For those of us interested in tomorrow's timings, the session will officially start at 9 AM tomorrow. And we're going to start with the women's 200 metre freestyle, then the men's. But 9 o'clock is the important time. And session 3, the afternoon session, will begin at 2 PM. So here we are, onto the A final and the final race of the evening here on session 1, day 1, here at the BUCS 2019 Long Course Championships. And from lane 0 we've got Cambridge in 1, Oxford United in 2, Stirling in 3, Manchester Met in 4, Loughborough in 5, Edinburgh in 6, Bath in 7, west of Scotland in 8, Nottingham, and in 9, Birmingham. Fastest entry time, of course, lane 4. This time it's Loughborough with a 4:01.49. And then very tight to their left and right in lane 3, Manchester a 4:05.5, and Edinburgh to their right a 4:05.26. So a 4-second difference, and then Bath and Stirling 4:08, west of Scotland 4:09. And we go beyond the 4:10s for Nottingham, Birmingham, Oxford and Cambridge. So we will look, of course, towards the centre. We will concentrate on Loughborough, I'm sure. And we're away. And Loughborough already metre advantage into the first 25 metres. Not hanging around whatsoever, showing their intent in this final already. Gold, silver and bronze up for grabs. That's a cracking first 50 metres on the backstroke. Well under 30 seconds, 27.18 for Loughborough. Then look at that, Edinburgh, Bath, Nottingham, all within 2 seconds. Birmingham 2.5. But the pool already split between lanes 4 and the lanes on the near side. 0, 1, 2 and 3. Closest challengers to Loughborough, Edinburgh and Bath. Very tightly matched, those two. What's the lead going to be through the first 100 metres? So it's 5:55, 2.36 and 3:08. And almost 4 seconds out to Nottingham. Loughborough have gone out male. As in fact have Edinburgh and Bath. So the women will be bringing us home by the looks of things. Now out to 4.3 back to Edinburgh, 5.8 to Bath. And already 8 seconds through 150 metres out to Stirling and Oxford. And if you remember, in the previous B final already, it was only a few moments ago. But again, that lead from Sheffield through the first 200 metres was 5 or 6 seconds, and Leeds Beckett Uni brought it back over the second 200, so anything can happen. Loughborough maintain that lead, 154. What's it out to now? 6.07. And then beyond 8 seconds for Stirling and Bath. That was 6 seconds at the halfway mark, 150 to go. Just stretched by 0.2 to Edinburgh. Edinburgh again only 4 seconds behind Loughborough on the entry times, a 4:01 versus a 4:05. Manchester, they were 4:05. And now into this final leg, Loughborough led from the off. Final freestyle leg. The lead was 6.28 with 150 to go. Timing board missed somewhere. Edinburgh, of course, in second place. I can tell you it was a 2:22. It's 8 seconds advantage then for Loughborough over Edinburgh. And they're not going to be caught, surely, as they turn for home for the final time. That's better. Timing board now working 3:20 out to a 5.97. So that's 2 seconds taken off that advantage over 50 metres. But surely with 25 to go, that's going to be far too much. And the fight for silver and bronze is now up for grabs, in fact. Because Stirling in lane number 2, they're coming fighting back. It's going to be a gold that's going to go to Loughborough. And in the final 50 metres, Stirling are going to come and steal the silver medal from Edinburgh, the Scottish rivals. So silver does go to Stirling, bronze will go to Edinburgh. So long in the fight for that silver medal. And just over that final 75 metres, as we saw in the B final, it's not over till it's over. Apart from the gold medal, that was over from about 100 metres in. Fantastic win, 3:50 for Loughborough. Again, they came in with a 4:01, so 11 seconds quicker than their heat time. So a fantastic win, a fantastic day. One for Loughborough, gold in the final event of the day, 3:50. Silver is stolen by Stirling ahead of Edinburgh in lane 5. But a fantastic day, a fantastic session one, a fantastic day one here at Ponds Forge in Sheffield. The International Sports Centre will join you again early tomorrow morning. The coverage on YouTube, on the live stream, will begin at 8:50, 10 minutes ahead of the first event. We look forward to seeing you then. Have a safe journey home if you're travelling home. Otherwise, look forward to speaking to you. Look forward to you seeing the coverage. And we will see you tomorrow. Good night.